On a little slice of coastline along the Arabian Gulf lies the United Arab Emirates, one of the largest oil producers in the world. Although the UAE is perhaps best known for the massive, record-breaking malls and skyscrapers that make up Dubai, it is also home to the world's first artificial intelligence university, the Mohamed bin Zayed University of Artificial Intelligence, or MBZUAI for short. I went to check it out. I spoke with around a dozen professors and researchers hailing from top-tier universities around the world who are all leading postgraduate research in everything from robotics to natural language processing, computer vision, and computational biology. I shook the hand, or paw, of a robotic dog, saw digital reconstructions of physical environments, and was introduced to the details of AI's possibly transformative role in healthcare. MBZUAI resides in a clean energy city called Masdar City, which is a result of investment by the state-owned investment firm Mubadala. This same company in March of 2024 launched a $100 billion tech investment company, MGX, that's focused solely on artificial intelligence. You might have heard a bit about MGX recently, and that name is likely to keep on cropping up. In addition to participating in OpenAI's latest $6.6 billion funding round, MGX has also joined Microsoft and BlackRock in backing US data centers and chip startups. And they've also held talks to invest in Elon Musk's xAI. The focus here is to turn the UAE into the next Silicon Valley. By building out prominent AI infrastructure and attracting the best talent, the country aims to diversify its economy beyond its current oil dependency and into the knowledge economy that technology has allowed to flourish.
I guess at the time that I was originally contacted 3 years or so ago, it was a much smaller university, largely computer vision and machine learning. We didn't even have NLP at the time. But the signs were there in terms of the incredible vision, how that aligns with the breathtaking ambitions of the nation, the UAE. This strong commitment to decarbonization, moving away from a carbon-based economy to a knowledge-based economy, this big bet on AI.
And we're already seeing the results of this effort to shift its economy. After establishing a partnership with UAE AI firm G42, Microsoft in September announced that it is launching 2 AI centers in Abu Dhabi, one an AI for Good Lab and the other a Center for Responsible AI Innovation. Both centers will work with Abu Dhabi's Artificial Intelligence and Advanced Technology Council. And at the center of this all is MBZUAI, an advanced research institution focused exclusively on advancing artificial intelligence technology. Robot dogs, automated vehicles, digital reconstruction, language models, they've got it all. The AI technology studied and developed by MBZUAI doesn't just sit in a lab, it gets deployed. The roads in Abu Dhabi are monitored by AI-powered traffic cameras, which are used to detect traffic violators at road exits and pedestrian crossings. MBZUAI partnered with IBM last year to fine-tune geospatial AI models designed to analyze urban heat islands.
So we had something called JS Climate that we released as part of COP28 towards the end of last year, when it was held in the UAE. And that was trying to be a model which allowed people who were perhaps curious about climate science and the COP28 event itself to better understand what the issues were, what UAE policy was when it came to climate science, what events were happening at COP28 on a particular day. So, kind of as our own in-house exemplar of a use case for LLMs.
The model has informed efforts that have reduced heat island effects by more than 5 degrees Fahrenheit in the region. Researchers brought from all over the world have developed and deployed proprietary large language models and have spent years studying and designing state-of-the-art robotic systems, some of which, alongside AI algorithms, are being used in local agricultural efforts to improve crop yields and increase resiliency. Elsewhere, AI tech and drones are informing and monitoring the country's vegetation and sustainability efforts, even as the country is exploring cloud seeding efforts that might rely on AI in order to increase rainfall.
So as I mentioned before, foundation models for genomics and the life sciences, we've released. We expect there to be far-reaching implications. It's sort of earlier days yet, but we expect there to be a similar sort of dialogue that happens over the coming months as we release more models in terms of just seeing all of the different use cases that people around the world come up with for these models.
Tim's excitement about the implications of the work being undertaken by MBZU AI is shared by Tamar Salario, an award-winning professor of natural language processing and MBZU AI's senior director of graduate student affairs. She began as a master's student studying machine learning, but fell in love with the field of natural language processing along the way. And where NLP is traditionally a smaller subset at other universities, here there's a whole NLP department, something that drew her to Abu Dhabi.
For the most part, my research has stayed within, ideation, evaluation, designing new technology. I recently did, however, had the opportunity to do a sabbatical at Bloomberg, and I got the opportunity to work with this wonderful team of AI engineers where we developed a transformer model for something that was deployed in their environment. That was pretty cool, right? I contributed a little, it was a little part in this solution that got deployed and was being used by people. That feeling is wonderful. However, I think that here at MBZU AI, I'm very excited because the very fabric of the university is around making an impact, having a direct impact, right? We are trailblazers, we are groundbreaking, we are innovating, and we're going to be facilitating this. So I'm very much looking forward to tapping into the fact that I see here a more direct path to technology transfer in the way of maybe contributing to a startup or contributing to what the companies want to develop. Right? I see this environment as being very much thirsty for making it happen. So I'm looking forward to ways in which I can do more of that.
Among all the professors and researchers at MBZU AI I spoke with, a simple theme emerged. It's all about real-world impact. A point that Preslav Nakov, a professor of natural language processing and the chair of MBZU AI's NLP department, drove home. See, beyond his world-class research into the intersection between AI and disinformation, Preslav was a core part of the team at MBZU AI that developed JACE, an Arabic-centric language model to rival ChatGPT.
One thing that's unique about this place is that we are actually building our own large language models from scratch. In fact, we started building an Arabic language model even before ChatGPT was around. We started the groundwork for that. Collecting data, doing initial experiments and so on. And over a year ago, back in August last year, we launched JACE, which is the best Arabic-centric large language model. I say Arabic-centric because it's trained on Arabic, but it also has English, and there's good reason for that, because one of the tasks that you want to do is you want to do maybe translation between English and Arabic, and the model that only understands Arabic cannot do that. And these days I'm very happy to see that many companies, organizations are using JACE. JACE is there, available on Hugging Face. It's available as a chat app. It's available on Apple Store. You can install it on your phone and use it. It's also available on Azure, Microsoft Azure. And actually a very proud moment, the day when it was added on Azure in December last year, at the same time when Mistral and Llama, two very famous models, actually were added. And to be in this company is something that we are very proud of.
The term AI functions as an umbrella term, encompassing a number of different technologies. And MBZU AI doesn't just play in the text and language model side of AI. The university is also researching the visual side of things, a face of AI that encompasses deepfakes and computer vision, which enables robot navigation. Think self-driving cars. This effort is being led by Hao Li, a professor of computer vision and the CEO of Pinscreen, a company building AI-based VFX.
So I actually started off with, all these visual computing side of things. So in the beginning, I really wanted to do visual effects. I wanted to know how Hollywood have rated these things that were impossible. I was like 25 years ago. Then you started to have, see everything on the screen that was already possible. Yeah. But then the question was, how can you make those kind of things accessible? How can you have everyone be able to create everything that they want? So I started to get into the field of computer vision and then 3D computer vision. But AI came on, back in 2014, 15. That's around the time where you had all these new emergence of new capabilities using deep neural networks.
Yep.
And that's when we started to explore how we can incorporate that into our research and use that. And then since then, it was just like, you can do anything that we see right now. 6 months ago, I would have probably thought it was not possible. So it's a really exciting time where, it's almost unpredictable, almost like anything could be done now, right, at this point.
And at the core of all of this is that one base element of artificial intelligence, humanity. How humans interact with technology, how technology can best serve humans, and how technology can be better designed to serve and service humanity. Those elements make up an entire field called Human-Computer Interaction, or HCI, which at MBZ UAI is led by Elizabeth Churchill, the university's department chair of HCI, who, before coming to Abu Dhabi, built an entire dynamic career by studying the many ways in which people and technology collide.
So through psychology, I came to thinking about design. These are all of the kinds of things that we can build technologies to allow people to interact with each other, with problem solving, with reasoning, and with trajectories of healthiness and wellness. It's just revolutionizing medicine formally, but also personal well-being and wellness. So one of the old phrases for human-computer interaction at its very incept as a discipline, which was in the early 80s, is the right information in the right format at the right time to make a decision. And in the right place. So sometimes if you're driving a car, you want that information to be maybe not completely taking your attention on the screen, because your attention should be looking ahead. Think about cars that have assisted automated driving capabilities. What is the kind of feedback that you need if there's a danger ahead and we need to get your attention? Should it be haptic feedback, like a shaking steering wheel? Should it be a visual? Should it be auditory? Human-computer interaction specialists look at how you, in your context, need the right information in the right format at the right time for your decision-making. So understanding individual differences as well as what is common between us all, these are really important things. That's what we study as psychologists, anthropologists, sociologists, technology designers and developers in the creation of the experience of you augmented by communicating through technology. So what does that look like for an AI that's a kind of human interaction AI system that's really about information summarization, to a generative AI system that's actually about making predictions about how a protein will work in the future. Designing AI, designing with AI, and designing for AI are three different facets that bring different disciplines in, and I think break down this notion of the monolith of designing AI into different approaches and different sensibilities to bring to the table.
So I guess for me, I've been in NLP for a long time, almost 30 years. Way before it became cool, way before we called it AI. It was at a time when AI was this dirty word that none of us used. I guess for me, the genesis was partly my own personal interest in language. So I studied Japanese for a long time. I spent time in Japan. I sort of learned about the power of language at a sort of deeply personal level, I guess, which got me fascinated in machine translation. This is at a time when you didn't have commodity machine translation as you do now. Combining that with my deep-seated interest in mathematics, computer science, linguistics, it was almost fate inevitable that I would end up in NLP at some point and focus on language. Given how different Japanese and English are and how you structure thought in the different languages, it was just such a challenging thing. I'd always sort of talk about it's a sort of job where no one's going to come along, it feels ironic now, but and do me out of a job because they've worked out the secret sauce to make machine translation happen. I say it's ironic because, of course, with neural models now and the power of data and scaling, you've got pretty good machine translation systems. I mean, for distant language pairs like Japanese and English, they're still a long way off being perfect. But certainly that the sort of exponential growth curve has been impressive.
And although plenty of other universities around the world do study artificial intelligence, Stanford, MIT, Harvard, they all come to mind here, MBZ UAI is the only one that doesn't do anything else.
When I was contacted first by the university, just the opportunity to be part of building an AI university, and not just an AI university. At some level, anyone could sort of claim they're the world's first AI university, but it's not just that. It's from the top down, it's top flight, real AI. This is headed up by Eric Xing. This is a big name, a real legend of the field, and we're AI at the core. AI isn't an afterthought. AI isn't sort of one of the many things we do. We are AI. We at every level of the university, we are AI. We are built around AI.
It is about creating something from scratch, with a clean slate, and also in the region where no such university ever existed. In fact, that's part of the reason I become excited to take on this job in here, because I do like to see such a mindset and such a value, a principle in education and in technology, to impact, regions which are yet to be impacted. So here is, a young country that wants to have a voice and have a stake in the global technological advancements, and they have the resource and also the ambition and also the enthusiasm of being a leader. Moving or maybe I'm lacking the right word, by learning, or maybe by advocating and advancing, amplifying in that kind of openness, that kind of transparency. From the very beginning of the foundation of this university and of the talent we are training, I believe is at the end of the day helping to grow this technology.
The UAE's vision for its future extends far beyond oil wells and skyscrapers. Through MBZ UAI, the country is positioning itself to become a global leader in AI. From robot dogs roaming the halls to proprietary language models, the technology being developed here isn't just theoretical. It's being deployed as we speak. The question now isn't whether artificial intelligence will reshape our world, but where that revolution will be centered, and how and when things will evolve. I can't answer those last two questions, but for the first one, Abu Dhabi is making a compelling case that it might happen here, along this stretch of coastline on the other side of the world.